Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Air Hauler 2 with me, Herd 37. A lot going on here. Well, we're gonna do the humanitarian missions in this episode. We'll either do part of it or the whole thing, I'm not sure, because it's gonna be pretty daggone far to get down there. Before we do that, if you look at the cash, we've been making a ton of money. I got into the commodity thing, and we had that we have another pilot, Caitlin. She's down here in Florida with a plane just like ours. We're flying that Chieftain, the 350. And these airports are so close together. I mean, you can get like commodities, or like the difference is like $50 a pound or whatever. And I mean, you just fly them back and forth, and you just make a ton of money. We're almost, up to almost 6 miles. I think I'm going to stop that for a while because it almost feels like cheating because the airports are so daggone close. It's just crazy money. I mean, it's nothing. It can take an hour or two just to make a couple $100,000. So I did that a bunch, but I'm going to chill on that for a little while. And we're going to do the humanitarian missions. We're going to take the emergency housing. We're going to do this one down to St. Maarten. Of course, there's the other one at Mexico City, which I'm going to try to do. As you can see, it ends November 1st, so that's about, 11 or so days. So we'll have to get on that to be able to go over to Mexico City as well. I would like to be able to do that. We've made some more stuff. The emergency housing. You see over here, emergency housing, 6,632 pounds. Still got a bunch of plastics, but we used up all the building materials. I had to bring in another load. Not gonna say, man, it took forever to make that plastic. I saw on the forums, and I had the same problem. It starts out really good and really quick, and then it just absolutely just slows down to a snail, like a snail's pace. I'm not sure why it does it. Other people have had that problem too. Actually, making the emergency housing, I think, was almost straight away. So anyway, this flight is so far from Jacksonville down to St. Maarten. Our plane obviously cannot make that without having to stop. And we're going to try and push it real hard here, because if we look at our plane, Chieftain, alright, so it's got a range of approximately 883, but remember, it's not exactly 883. Sometimes it takes a little more, sometimes it takes a little less fuel, so it's going to be real close. Our first stop, we're going to try to make it to Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, to the naval base. There's supposedly another airport here, the Cuban. I don't know if that's it right there or not. Probably not. But could it be up here? I'm not sure. We're going to Guantanamo Bay, the naval base here, MUGM. As you can see, it's about 726 miles, so it's about 160 less than the range. But like I say, we don't know. We don't know if we can actually get that far, so I'm a little worried about the fuel here. Well, let's look at the weather. The wind is coming from the northeast. So we're going to take off on runway 8. That's a heading of 077 degrees. Then we'll come down here to Guantanamo Bay. I guess we could do the traffic pattern. Now that I'm thinking about it, it's probably a stupid idea to do a traffic pattern into a naval base. So I might just come out here to fly, so I might change that here in a second. Actually, let's just go ahead and do that. I need to write that down, actually, because I'm not going to save this thing. Felix. So I'll try to see if I can go over to Felix, and then we'll come in to runway 28, heading 279 degrees. Airport elevation about 56 feet or something, but as you can see, it's right here on the water. That's the first leg. If we do this in one shoot, in one video, we're going to go from Guantanamo Bay, obviously, over to St. Maarten. It's about 696, so just a little bit shorter. And obviously, we're going to, well, take off runway 28 again, heading 279. Obviously, we're going to land on runway 9. I think you almost always land on 9. I think you have to because of the mountains. Wind is coming from the southeast anyway. So heading 096 degrees out to Maarten. At least I'm going to try that if that fix or whatever is in FSX, just like that Felix. And into Princess Juliana. Of course, we got scenery for that. It'll look all nice, even though so much of it has been destroyed, but it'll still look real nice for us there at Princess Juliana Airport. Alright, so a change, or close out all that. Alright, we're at Jacksonville. Let's go ahead and see if we can't load this up. We're going to have to move that stuff. Factories. Alright, so our emergency housing. Move from. Alright, so that's all went to our base. Let's also, before we do our plan, I'm going to get her set up as well. Let's go ahead and load her up as much as we can get. She needs some range too. Was it like 690 or something? I'll give her just enough. I'll see if she can't take a bunch of that. $32, $31. So I think we'll have just a little bit. Well, crap. Available minus 632. So let me just move that all back. And I'll do hers later because we got to get on ours anyway. Alright, so we're going to load up completely 879 miles worth of fuel. Let's go ahead and load it. Now see, it says minus 861. I don't know why it keeps saying that. We can't be 861 over weight. So I don't quite understand. If it's got 3231 left, yeah, we'll go with it and say we're 861 over. I guess I don't quite understand it. That was hers anyway. Let me go ahead and get this thing fully loaded, and I'll do it again. Maybe it won't put us over. 2370. All right, so that's we've got 1031 left. We've got to take that to Mexico anyway, so we're gonna need more. So that's fine. Got me confused a little. I should have just done it twice like I did on hers like I did on ours. Alright, so let's go ahead and position this airplane over to TNCM. Actually, since she's loaded, I'll go ahead and do hers real quick. TNCM, which is Juliana and St. Maarten. Alright, so she's on her way. I'm going to go ahead and do it for us. TNCM. That's all good. 879 miles worth of fuel. We got our stuff. Alright, we're going VFR. Ooh, how high to go? Maybe 12. I can't remember. I don't think this plane is pressurized. The highest we can go, I think non-pressurized, it was about 12.5. We'll probably go like 10.5 or something, just to be a little safe. Alright, 12, so it'll either be 7 or 8 when we actually start last position, because we did fly it there. And we're actually going to be really close to the runway, since we're going to use that big main runway. Alright, let's go ahead and move on over to the plane. Alright, everybody, here we are at the plane. By the way, there she goes. Caitlin is here. The last flight, we were taxiing in and she was leaving. I just had to show that real quick, so I haven't got everything set up. I wanted to show that. Be right back. Alright, everybody, we're about ready to taxi. There goes Caitlin. I think I've got everything set up. We don't want to waste too much time on the ground either, because like I said, I'm really worried about our fuel. Alright, so APU is obviously removed. Magic switch is on. Lights. Let me make sure I have all my lights on. Anti-collision. I guess these are our strobes. I guess we leave that off, so I think we're good there. We'll turn on the pitot heat. Prop de-ice. I guess we don't need that. There's the windshield heat. I wish I had auto, because then we'd use that. Heater and air conditioning as required. I really don't mess with that. Avionics, everything is set. By the way, I did go back into Air Hauler 2. Instead of going direct to TNCM, we could have just landed, left that alone and landed at Guantanamo Bay, and Air Hauler 2 would just remember that's where we are as soon as we quit that. But I went ahead and just had it go straight to Guantanamo Bay with that Felix in there, that little waypoint we talked about. But like I said, we didn't really have to do that. Air Hauler 2 would know exactly where we are and leave the plane there. Altimeter and clock, I've already reset that. Autopilot is off. Fuel valves been checked. Radio is checked. Parking brake release. Do I have a taxi light? I can't even remember if we have a taxi light. Taxi light. So that is on. Alright, let's taxi on over. That's kind of crazy. As I was getting in the plane, I saw her there, and then all of a sudden her engine started up, and she started taxiing. I was like, I gotta show that. I just find it wild that our traffic is in there, like our people. Oh, and the first time I started up, I forgot to activate Jacksonville in the scenery library, because I've been doing an FSX flight, Madrid to Buenos Aires. So I didn't even have that. This is our runway right ahead. It's heading 077. I've already got the heading in. The heading didn't mess with me this time. I went right to it. I don't know why we have problems with that sometimes. But that is our runway right here. So we can, I think, pretty much any time we can get onto the runway, I think it'll be alright. I think we've got enough room to the right. We'll check it when we get up here, obviously. I don't see Caitlin down taxiing, though. Couldn't get her to move there for a second. That gave her way too much throttle. That's probably enough. We'll get out and check. Yeah, that's got to be enough. Well, yeah, we'll say that's enough. I'm just thinking we are kind of heavy, so we should probably use some flaps, because I think normally in this plane we don't actually use flaps. As you can see, we can get right onto the runway over here. I wonder where Caitlin went, because I don't see her plane straight ahead. Unless they're using a different runway, but as we see, normally they use this runway no matter what. So we'll get on the runway right here, and we'll go finish up the procedures and get the heck on out of here. And pray that we have enough fuel to get to Guantanamo Bay. Got about 160 miles worth to play with, but you gotta remember that sometimes it's not very accurate on how far we can go and how much we really get out of it. That thing is really bouncing. I think it's because we're so daggone heavy. Because it gave me the warning when I went into fuel and payload just to make sure it was correct, and it said we were over by like 168 pounds. So we are full. Alright. So everything looks good there. Engine run up. Of course, we don't do the run up. We can look at the other stuff. Parking brake is set. Mixture's rich. Looks like we'll skip all that because, like, if you haven't watched before, the brakes on this thing can't hold it when we actually do the run up, so we skip it. Before takeoff, seatbelts, no smoking signs, no smoking, seatbelts. We could turn the fan on, not the air conditioning just yet. Now that might use fuel, the air conditioning. Fuel selectors are both on inboard. A fuel quantity sufficient, we're at full. We hope we're sufficient. Mixtures and props, full forward, flaps. Check and set 0 for normal takeoff, 15 for short fuel. I'm going to put them to 15 just because, like I say, we're heavy. So I want to make sure. Surface de-ice is over here. We got to click that off. I don't know why that always wants to come up as on. I don't know. Check that. Pitot heat and prop heat as required. We always turn the pitot heat on. I'll leave the prop heat off. We're in Jacksonville. Avionics as required. Our heading is set. Direction indicator set. Radar as desired. Transponder as required. I was just looking at it. There it is. I'm going to go ahead and turn that on. Controls. Let's check the controls. Everything looks good there. Rudder pedals good. Emergency fuel pumps on. We think these are the emergency ones. Anyway, we'll turn those on. Air conditioner is off. Prop sync is off. We don't have that button anywhere, so it's always off. Parking brake released, and we'll rotate at 85 knots. So let's just check right here. There's nobody coming. I guess Caitlin, yeah, maybe they're on the other runway. Now, instead of going out to the right, we're going to come out to the left just a little bit. Let's turn our lights on, by the way. Just to make sure that we get every bit of runway, just in case we need it. Alright, let's turn and get ourselves lined up real quick. Oh. And I'll hold the brakes in. I want to check one thing about the lights. Beacon and recognition. I guess that's what we want. Be nice if I turn my landing lights on as well. Alright, brakes, although I guess holding the brakes really doesn't help because like I said, it doesn't hold. See, we're already kind of moving. Alright, I'm gonna push forward just to keep that nose down. We're already getting up to speed, look at that. We're already past 40 knots. She really wants to go left on me. There's 80 knots, 85, 87, let's go ahead and rotate. I let it get her a little quicker just because of our weight. Oh, she's really sliding. Gear coming up. We've cleared 95, so the flaps can come up. Trim her down a little bit here. Look at that map, man. That map is so zoomed out. Not really sure of the purpose. Why it's so zoomed out. Not so cluttered right there. Let's get out away from the airport just a little ways. There's a nice little field right over there. Alright, we can bring the power back a little bit here. Let's get everything set here. Oh, daggone it. Cowl flaps. I didn't remember the cowls. We might have forgot that in the last one. I don't know why I forget that. Alright, the power, actually, I'm going to take the... I brought it down too much. Go to 40. And we want the props down to 2400. I'm wanting to say that's actually at 80%. Or was it 75? 24. Let's put it at 75 right here. Alright, that's right at 2400 RPM. We're at 40. That's good for the climb. Cowling flaps as required. I don't remember why. Know why I forget those. The fuel pumps, you can go off. Kind of going off to the left. Let me get my hands back on here. Air conditioning as desired. Seatbelts, no smoking are still on. Oxygen is required. Obviously, we don't need that. Alright, let's go ahead and rotate. Go on. Fly out to the right here. I was about to say rotate to the right. Yeah, there's those little daggone problem. We always get that problem with those cooling towers. I was talking about that last time. There's some buildings. Maybe that's downtown Jacksonville. We just kind of question where it is. I guess we won't. Ah, there's the airport out there. Might be able to see it here in a second. Flight director. There's autopilot. See if we can get the heading over here real quick. Alright, let's flip that over to heading. Vertical speed. Let's climb it up, see what happens if we try to climb at 1,000 feet a minute. Because we're at a pretty good click right here. Trying to move this back over here. At 130 knots, but let's see what happens when we climb like that. I was hoping we'd get to see more of the airport. We'll check that in a second. Can't hardly see it really. Be cool if we'd be able to see Caitlin on our... We don't have TCAS or anything. Do we have traffic on this radar though? Because we never really use this. It says traffic, no labels. Could that be her? I don't know which direction that one's going. Well, she more likely be this one. Though she could be a little ways ahead of us. I'm not sure why I get so thrilled about being able to see our people. I just think it's really cool. We'll put these at 80. And we either go to 10.5 or 12.5. I'm not sure which one. It feels like we are really pitched up. And 1,000 feet a minute ain't that much. Let's take a look outside real quick. I'm thinking that's part of Cielosim, or I can never remember their name, Cielosim, because that doesn't look like anything I've seen. I don't like how it's cut off and stuff. I've never seen anything like that. I don't know why that would be part of the scenery pack though. It'd be kind of odd. Or maybe it's just a weird thing messed up in the scenery. Climbing through 5,400. 717 miles to go. We should have checked down here. I thought this one gave us the time. It tells us the clock time. Alright, just under 4.5 hours. Gosh, it's gonna be close. I don't know how I forgot the cowlings. Reset my views one more time. Coming through 6,000. I want to move these to 70. Try to keep as much fuel as we can. See if it'll give me a temperature here. Come on, thing. As soon as I move it, it wants to. 1165. Alright, so it's 1,500 max, so we're well under that. I guess we could have kept it. Kind of keeps it decluttered. Alright, coming up on 7,000 feet. Looking good, Florida. We're set on GPS. I guess we could go ahead and hit nav. You have to click heading off. It's kind of weird that it doesn't automatically go off when you click the other one. Just make sure, but I know we had it. She comes right and then roll back left. Taxi light can go off. Alright, everybody, we'll see. I don't know if I want to go to 10.5 or 12.5. You can save, I think we're going to save basically the same amount of fuel because I usually set the mixers down, whether it's 10.5 or 12.5, I set them back the same pretty much. You can hear the engine difference as you lean them out. I usually set it around 35 to 40%, probably closer to 40, but I'll check to see if I can do 35 just to save even a little bit more. And of course, we'll move the power down to like maybe 50% or something. I think that's about right for long-range cruising. We've got a long ways to go. Don't you move yet, fuel indicator. We need that fuel. Alright, anyhow, we've got a ways to go. We're almost at 9,000 feet. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and speed her up, or I'll probably slow her down for myself around 10,000 to get this thing. I probably don't actually have to. Alright, so I'll go for 10.5 and I'll be back in just a little bit. Alright, everybody's slowing it down to normal speed. Airport off to the right. I don't actually see it. It's probably really just under us from the look of it, which is a problem. We need to get down quicker then. We'll probably have to fly out to the left a little bit and come back. I thought it was further away. By the way, we have plenty of fuel. This thing, I thought for a little while that the gauges must be broken because it stayed at like 56 gallons forever. And so I thought, well, maybe it's broken. Then finally it started moving. Actually, that's across the bay. Why does that look so short? I guess across the bay, probably like right there, though. But then once it started moving, it starts to move pretty quick. So I actually moved the speed. I think we were at 56% power, 58, and I moved it up to like 88 or something towards the end. It's been quite a long flight. And this is just leg one. I think we'll do leg two in another video because this is going to be so freaking long already. That makes it look so far away, but that's like, it's right there. And that's at 20 miles. I don't know what this is at. But you can see that makes it look like the other part of the bay is way over, and you can see it's obviously not. See, I thought being at 5,000 at Felix, it would be alright, but it's actually not going to be alright. In fact, let's move our heading. Let's move this to heading. Nav off and heading mode on. That way it doesn't turn us to the right. That's going to be really zoomed in. Let's move that out a little bit. See, I hate that. I'll control it. Thank you. Let me do it. I hate that. Alright, so we've already crossed that actual waypoint. So it will come out to the left a little bit. I can't even, can't hardly see anything. I hate that because that makes it now look like... That makes it really difficult. Oh, we got buildings in the ocean. That's always nice. Let's see if we see a runway anywhere. Should be back behind us. Tell you what. Let's turn the autopilot completely off. Let's set this heading to 277. That's the heading of the runway. (277). Alright, we can get rid of this. That's the gear warning buzzer. Let's turn back around and find our runway. A little more power now. Is that... No, that's not it. I was going to say I see something right there. By the way, full rich on the mixture. A little more power now. We're at 2,500 feet. But I can't see the runway, so it's probably not that far away, so I don't want to get too much power on here. There she be. Yeah, we're high. But that's alright, because we got to come out to the left and get back down anyway. Alright, let me bring the nose up so I can get my gear down. I don't want to put the gear down during a turn. So we could have gone a little further out. We're still at 1,700 feet, but we're slowing down nicely. Throw some flaps out. Hopefully the Cubans don't shoot at us. This is actually quite a big base. I didn't realize it was like 45 square miles or something. Like, it's a huge base. Alright, we're at full flaps. Pull off the power a little more. Just seems like our descent's getting a little too quick. Our speed's getting down a little quick as well. I'm going to add just a little bit of power and then trim down. Because we're just sitting right there at about 900, 800 feet a minute, which is a little too quick. Fly on down to the runway. Off the power. Ah, there's the taxiway. Got on the brakes a little bit, but I'm off them now. Ended up being a pretty nice touchdown, really, if you think about it. For as high as we were. Let me get back on these brakes. I've never seen like a water tower like that in FSX. I've never seen anything like that. That's got to be. Is that FTX Orbx doing that, or I have no idea. That's kind of crazy though. I guess we don't technically have to lean those out. Transponder coming off. Let's flaps are up. Let's go ahead and open these cowlings. Now turn that off. And landing lights can go off as well. Let's see, I could go to the after landing checklist. Cowl flaps open, wing flaps up, emergency fuel pumps. Oh, we were supposed to turn those on deck on it. Let's go off. Heater switch if used goes to fan. I think I still still have the fan is on. Prop controls now go to full forward. It's kind of weird having those at 75%, 2400 RPM when you land. Strobes are off. That's good. So you could park over there. I say we go park. To see if there's anything over there, because we're gonna take off in the same direction, so doesn't look like there's any parking over there. It's all gonna be over here. Alright. Well, let's go on over there and let's stop this recording. Yeah, it seemed like a pretty nice thing. Air Handler 2 liked it as a greaser. It came in high, but we ended up controlling it pretty well. Yeah, there's another flashing thing, the doors. I don't know why doors always do that. Unlike control towers and stuff. I have no idea. There's so many weird little things with FSX. There's helicopter parking. I'm sure we got parking over here too. I don't see any taxi lines. We're in Naval Base. Well, Naval Base still got like taxi lines and stuff. Let's say maybe they're but open areas like this in FSX at air bases and stuff, there are usually not any taxi lines, if I remember correctly. Not that we fly to them a whole lot, but I'm kind of thinking I don't remember seeing a whole lot at these areas. So we'll just like park right over here. We should still be able to get in right there. Alright, throwing the parking brake on. Alright, let's go ahead and turn all the avionics. Well, I don't know if we want to turn them all. I guess we'll turn them off like that. I don't remember the power buttons for all these. There's the power. Yeah, like I don't know what the power switch is for all these, but you turn the avionics off, autopilot and flight director come off. Even though my master button that I use obviously doesn't move that, so just know it was off. Alright, throttles are idle. It says mag grounding checked. I don't know what exactly that means, but that's the end of it. But also normally you bring these back to feather. So let's get all this stuff off. That would help too. Recirculation fans, probably should have had those on. Everything's off there. Let's go ahead and cut the engines. This is how it seems like it's normally done in most of our planes. Mags are all off. Get these off. Alternator, circuit breakers, alternator, and master switch. Alright, let's go over to air hauler 2. Where am I? There we are. Alright, obviously we're not going to unload it here, so we'll just finish the flight monitoring. Because we have another flight coming up, the next episode, almost as long. There's a greaser, took 4 hours, 18 minutes. I told you it's a long flight. Took off at 12:41, landed at 4:59. Takeoff, well, 12:41 p.m. That's going to be UTC time, that's local time. Takeoff fuel, 1,143 pounds. Land with 300. Max altitude, 10,569. Max pitch, negative 11.23. Max roll, 32.53. Max speed, 178.8 knots. Minimum G's, 0.89. Minimum G's exceeded 0. Max G's 1.40. Max G's exceeded 0. Stall false, overspeed false. Landing description greaser. Gear down true. Land on asphalt. No damage to the runway or the plane. Came down a nice little 55.12 feet a minute. Landing speed 84.39 knots. Landing pitch negative 3.53. Landing roll negative 0.02. Landing heading 281. Let's see. Landing wind speed 5. Wind direction 41. Nice. So we're here. I wonder where Caitlin is. She's 5 hours away, so she's got to be close to MUGM as well. I don't know how to get her to show up. I wish I did. Yeah, that's make sure that's where they've got us. So yep, at MUGM. And so in the next episode, we will fly right over to I can't remember exactly where she is. St. Maarten. I'm wanting to say it's over here, but it might be closer to here. I can't really remember. Gustavia, Antigua. I know it's over here though. Isn't it towards the British Virgin Islands? I can't really remember. It's got to be over here somewhere. St. Kitts is it's fairly close to that as well. But anyhow, that's for the next episode because this has been so long. We've got basically another flight just like it for the next episode. Well, that's Guantanamo Bay. Never been there before. Why would you? You don't want to be there in real life either. I don't know why it's got that line. Oh, there must be a cargo job, and we're obviously not taking that. Yep, that's the next episode, over to St. Maarten, and we'll finish our first ever humanitarian mission, which is pretty cool. Anyhow, that's going to be it for this episode, everybody. I hope you all did enjoy it. I will catch you guys on the next flight.